The Bamboo Princess. Far away in Japan there once lived an elderly man and his wife. Their little wooden house stood by a swift-flowing river, and behind it were hills, covered with bamboo and fir trees. The couple made a poor living by cutting down the bamboo and weaving it into vases and baskets. These they took to the nearest town and sold. However, as they grew older, the couple grew more and more lonely. "If only we had a child to bring us joy and happiness," the wife would sigh. One day, in early springtime, the old man went out as usual to the bamboo thicket to chop down the bamboo canes. He had not been working long when he noticed that one of the canes was swaying around in a very odd manner. There was no wind and all the other canes were still. Only this one was moving. "This must be a very special cane," thought the old man, and with one swipe from his sharp knife he cut it to the ground. He picked up the fallen cane, thinking what a fine basket it would make, when he felt the cane moving in his hands. How very strange! Such a thing had never happened before. Very carefully, the old man slit the cane open, and there, lying inside the bamboo, was a tiny girl. She had soft, white skin and jet black hair, and she was dressed in a tiny silk kimono, with a silk sash. Such fine clothes had never been seen by the old man before in his life. "We have been sent the baby of our dreams," smiled the bamboo cutter, and he took the little girl home to his wife. The wife was as pleased as the old man and loved the little foundling child. Now, as might be supposed, a child found in a bamboo shoot did not grow as other children do. Before the moon was full, the new baby had grown to be 2 feet tall, and the rich kimono was far too small for her. "It is no use dressing this beautiful girl in poor clothes," said the bamboo cutter's wife. "We must buy her clothes as rich as the ones in which you found her." So the poor old couple spent all their savings on rich silk to clothe their strange child, and still the little girl grew and grew. She was beautiful, but she was certainly a problem. Finally, when there was just no money left, the bamboo cutter went to the bamboo grove as usual, his mind filled with worries about where his next penny would come from. Suddenly a stream of gold coins poured from a bamboo he had just felled. "How very nice!" The old man was thrilled. "Whoever sent the little girl has sent the money with which to keep her," he smiled. So after that the old man and his wife could be happy with no worries. No matter how their foundling child grew, they had the money to clothe and feed her. By the time she was 3 years old, the girl was like a 17-year-old young lady, and her fame was spreading far and wide. In fact, the Bamboo Princess, as she came to be called, was so famous and beautiful that many young men wished to marry her. The old couple talked things over and decided that as they would not live forever, it really would be right for the Bamboo Princess to marry and have her own home. So of all the young men who came courting the Bamboo Princess, the old couple chose the 3 most handsome and most wealthy and asked the princess to choose one to be her husband. The Bamboo Princess sighed. "I don't really want to get married at all," she said, "but I will set each young man a task, and if one fulfills his task, I will marry him." To the first young man the Bamboo Princess said, "Fetch me the bowl which has been used by the Lord Buddha both as a drinking and a begging bowl." To the second young man she said, "Bring me the fireproof skin of the tree rats which live over the Western Sea." And to the third young man she said, "Bring me the seashell which the swallows are said to keep hidden in their nests." Well, the 3 young men set off bravely, promising that they would do anything to win the hand of the beautiful Bamboo Princess, but the more they thought about the tasks she had set, the more they didn't want to do them. "Why should I go grubbing across half China looking for one particular bowl?" thought the first young man. "Surely any bowl will do. After all, that girl has never been out of her own village. How does she know what the Lord Buddha's bowl looks like?" So the first young man went to a potter and had a fine bowl made there and took that to the Bamboo Princess. But the Bamboo Princess looked at the bowl and shook her head. "This is not the bowl of the Lord Buddha," she said. "Be off with you, young man." Now while this had been going on, the second young man had been standing looking at the Western Sea, and the more he looked at it, the colder and wetter and rougher it appeared. "Well, I'm certainly not sailing all the way across that just to fetch a few rat furs," thought the young man to himself. "One rat is just like another, if you ask me." So the second young man went to a furrier and asked him to make up a fireproof fur of rat skins. But, of course, when the bamboo princess saw the fur, she knew it had not come from over the Western Sea. "You haven't even had time to sail across the Western Sea, let alone come back again," she said to the young man. So he went away, thinking that a wife as clever as that might not have suited him anyway. And as for the third young man, he soon grew tired of scrambling up on high, looking into swallows' nests, and he just bought a shell from a fisherman and gave that to the bamboo princess. "That is not the shell I had in mind," said the bamboo princess, so the third young man was sent on his way. But then another and much more important young man came to court the bamboo princess. He was the heir to the imperial Japanese throne. "Surely," thought the old couple, "the bamboo princess will want to marry this young man." But she didn't. However, as he was so important, the bamboo princess felt she owed the heir to the throne an explanation for her refusal, and she gave him a long scroll of paper on which were written beautifully formed characters. The prince read it, sighed deeply and left the house. Then the bamboo princess turned to the old couple. "Dear parents," she said, "I am really the daughter of the moon. For being rude and unkind, my father banished me to earth. He made me very small and hid me in a bamboo shoot. You found me and cared for me, and now that you have shown me what goodness is, I can return to live with my father amongst the stars." And at the full moon, she left. All that remained of her on earth was the scroll given to the heir to the Japanese throne, and he took it to the top of Mount Fuji and burned it, and it smolders there to this day. The end.